That's where the money is coming from. Where it is supposed to be. Where it was proposed to be.
Yes.
What is your opinion on reallocation?
I thank you, Right Honorable.
Honorable members, listen.
Colleagues.
Linda.
Allow me to say, we did all this for the good of the country and in good faith. We did it in good faith. Now that the bill has been returned with a lot of language, whereby if you listen to the speech, a presentation by PSST recently, he made it clear that Parliament tampered with the budget, and that tampering is going to affect service delivery. That tampering is going to lead to supplementary budgets. And sincerely, in the interest of our country, none of us is happy to see figures. You start then a supplementary budget and so on. So, with that commitment given, and the HE giving that there are priorities, of course, which priorities the government is interested in. And also given that they commit to stick to the budget.
Listen.
I therefore concede to the reallocations.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Honorable members.
Madam Chair.
Members, if you can...
Honorable members. Honorable members, sit. That the statement that has been given clears people that they have not stolen the money. That clears everybody that the money has not been stolen. It was allocated to different areas. And that's why the president is saying, in the interest of national priorities and equity. But that actually has helped us a lot, what Honorable Poloto was reading. It does not show that the money was allocated and eaten by members of parliament here. It shows it was allocated to different areas. Only that now we are looking at national interest.
Madam Speaker,
Standing to speak.
I am happy that
So you all want to speak when he's speaking? I am going to ask my clerk to give all of you the rules. Because it seems the one...
Parliament, we may want to speak, but we need information. That's why I considered. I had been asked to speak. It's not that I don't have something to say, but I thought we would benefit from the chair of the committee explaining where the money went. Now that that has been done, you know we did a minority. We disagreed with the chairman. But I don't want to participate in lynching him for no crime committed. Madam Speaker, if you go to the law on Public Finance Management Act, specifically Section 13, it outlines the number of documents that are supposed to accompany the budget. Unfortunately, we may not have paid attention to all of them. For example, if you allow me, Madam Chair, the 750 billion 300 billion, and let the ministers come here and deny. that you are removing from the items that the chair has read, that money is going to local construction company. It is entirely.
The information I want to give, Madam Chair, local at that time, by the Catholic Church, by the way, she has been doing business by itself. So the moment you look at the challenges of our hospitals and our schools, there's no way you can bail out local, which has been here since 1969, with the assets that Kawembe doing business, and you use government buying funds from Karum West constituency to bail it out. So even the Catholic Church, after doing its work, if it failed, it did its work and found it sufficient on our side.
Madam Chair, I will be done in 3 minutes.
There is information here.
1st July 2022, this August House passed a resolution for government to take out shares in local. And therefore, yes, Right Honorable Speaker, the resolution.
Why don't you listen? Why don't you listen?
The resolution, I am just providing information that the Parliament on 21st July 2022 passed a resolution to take out shares in Roko.
What have we benefited from Roko?
If the decision...
What has Uganda benefited from Roko?
No, you have just
What
provided...
has Uganda benefited from Roko? What has Uganda benefited from Roko?
Yona.
Right Honorable Speaker, I am just reminding us that as we make this decision, we made the decision earlier and this is now an obligation.
Madam Speaker, I want to inform that to the General, we should not have these things of robbing and, castigating Parliament. We took shares indeed. What we took, preferential shares. What are those shares? Can you define those shares, whether they mean anything to Ugandans?
But who approved it?
And the Speaker then says, Madam Speaker, the concern of local is a business of individuals in the executive. And the Speaker then passed it alone without Parliament. So, when they are casting Parliament, we should defend ourselves. We should... Parliament, because you have been denied a chance to speak.
Okay, you come back this side. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, budget is a document that reflects the priorities of government as headed by the President. In 2006, government of Uganda, together with Parliament, all of us, Honorable, just a minute. It is just out of respect that when an thank you so much. We are here for a reason. We are here. And we have in 2006, 2005, 2006, Parliament of Uganda decided to increase the budget to work on roads and also provide electricity. That did not mean that we did not want to work on health centers. That did not mean that we did not want to work on water. We decided to work on roads and 14 trillion. Honorable colleagues, I've been keeping it quiet when other members are talking. Give me an opportunity to honorable members listen to the Prime Minister. Yes. Honorable members, sometimes we need to consolidate our efforts so that we can work on the common good. If we had not consolidated our budgets then, the roads we are now talking about would not have been worked on. Let me give an example. The budget committee, they allocated the money, was 80 billion to purchase iron sheets in my office for Karamoja. We are saying now, Karamoja, we need to, one, work on water for production so that those people can produce their own food. Honorable members, we want to dig dams so that those people can, and that is in the budget. Okay. Colleagues, order, Madam Speaker. I want you, Madam Speaker, in the 9th Parliament, we were here with the Right Honorable Prime Minister. She had issues that were disturbing the people of Kakumiro. Now that she has become a Prime Minister, she has forgotten the people of Kakumiro, and now she's beginning to defend foreigners who are investing here. Isn't she in order to forget where she comes from? Is she in order? Person. And this is on record. So you are not in order. Honorable colleagues, the applause I've got from members. I am a Prime Minister of the whole country, not Kakumiro. I have to give support to all districts, irrespective of where people come from. I wanted you, Right Honorable Speaker, to allow the Attorney General to come here and articulate Article 93 of our Constitution. What does it say? Okay. So colleagues, we must all move in unison. If you have issues that you want to take to your constituents, why don't we really harmonize? Why don't we harmonize? Honorable members, so much. Honorable members, Honorable Dur.
Still in the committee of the whole house, meaning that at the end of this process we have to report back to Parliament.
Yes.
The items we are considering were read by the minister to us. What we should now be doing is to look at vote 008 and talk about the 10 billion and take a decision on that and then move to the next items. If at the end, yes, debate it.
Honorable members,
Motion for resumption of the House.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that the House resumes and the committee of the whole House reports thereto. Speaker, I beg to
Honorable
move the
members, I
motion.
want you to know you came to this parliament alone. Nobody brought you.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the report of the committee of the whole house be adopted.
I put a question that the committee of the whole house
To reflect the estimates as appropriated by the committee of supply. I beg to move, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much. Jonah? Yes, Lord.
Madam Speaker, I have come to register discontent and displeasure on our side of the political aisle. And even as we talk, as I provide leadership, a number of our members are not with us. I want to say this, Madam Speaker. Before the enactment, please,
Honorable members,
please extend me courtesy.
listen.
Extend me courtesy.
This is a gentleman.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for the compliment. Madam Speaker, I want to take us down memory lane. Before enactment of the Budget Act and its successor, the Public Finance Management Act 2015, Parliament, including the 6th Parliament, faced a dilemma where the executive would arm twist Parliament to rubber stamp the approval of appropriation bill. Madam Speaker, you will allow me read verbatim a statement that was made by the mover of the motion, who sponsored and introduced a private member's bill entitled the budget bill. The then member of Zaya, and I salute him, the Honorable Isaac Musumba, had this to say. When he was moving the motion, Madam Speaker, it was on Wednesday, 17th November 1999. And this is what he said, very brief. The budgeting process must, by its nature, involve all early consensus between the executive and the legislature. In the present situation, and that was 1999, the budgeting process is basically a preserve of the executive, leaving the legislature as a mere rubber stamp of what the executive presents. Allocation of the national resources is made between alternatives and priorities, as seen and determined by the executive only. But the Constitution imposes a time frame within which the process of budgeting and the appropriation of funds must be completed. Time and again, this House has been forced to hurriedly pass appropriation bills, lest we have a constitutional crisis. Madam Speaker, it is today 25 years down the road, and the executive is taking back Uganda to where it was in the 6th Parliament. The import, Madam Speaker, the import of the Public Finance Management Act was to involve Parliament in the budgeting process beyond mere rubber stamping the executive proposal. Madam Speaker, that's why when it talks of approval, there is another verb, consideration. That's why I salute the chair of the budget committee when he talked of harmonization, consolidation, and the other word, reconciliation. But we are not here merely when they bring a proposal and the proposals are brought like this one, that the House must only be subjected to approval. Far from it, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I thank you. And still want to go on record to say that you have conducted and presided over the House in a very prudent way, but I highly doubt whether the process that we are being subjected to will have legitimacy. History may actually harshly pass judgment against us, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
For bringing the House into order, because when he was talking, we gave him time to talk, we listened to him. Having listened to all discussions, that what Honorable Nambeshe has just said has taken place, because when the executive brings its proposals of a budget, the process, as was explained by the chairman, I think, of the budget committee, through the sectoral committees, through the budget committee, through parliament, that is where dialogue between executive and legislature takes place, which took place. When here in this house, it took place, but later on, when the bill went to His Excellency the President, he was not satisfied with part of the budget. And he communicated to this House through you, Speaker. And he explained the reasons why. I don't have a copy, but he said, no, he said that some allocations were made without the knowledge of the executive. Yes. Therefore, Madam Chair and honorable colleagues, I think let us move forward, not backward. In the future, when the other, give me a chance to give my views. In the future, when this debate is going on, and the Parliament feels very strongly like all the proposals they had made, which are good, because there are so many things we need in our constituency. Let there be dialogue. So that
I want to, in a very special way, thank Honourable Jonathan Odur. He has been guiding the process. Whether you want to hear it or not, he has done it. He has done it. I want to assure this House that there is no problem between executive and legislature. We have been involved. And listen to this. Alone, the executive, legislature, and judiciary have been involved in the meetings of the budget plus finance. In the last 2 financial years, we have been having meetings before the budget comes to the floor. And today, when we had a meeting, it was informal fine. We've agreed we should have a meeting with His Excellency and agree on the working methods that before the budget comes to the House, we should be able to scrutinize the budget together with His Excellency so that we make sure that the national priorities are catered for. So we want to do that with the executive. But I don't want you to say this budget was made. The corrigenda, for instance, if we are to talk about tobacco, it is us who brought it that is a priority in the House. It is Parliament that brought that it's a priority. When you talk about Akibwa, it is Parliament that brought it in the meeting. When you talk about Adoko, we don't know. Oima Stadium. when you talk about women's status, it was the parliament that raised it up. All those other things that have been coming on the floor every time when members are raising issues. So, one thing I also want to assure that, and I want to thank the chairman budget. Chairman budget, at least you removed the perception that the money has been taken by members. You removed that perception. Honorable member, yes?
Last bit of how the matter was handled was not actually what I guided, because that is an indictment. That is an indictment because the guidance, the point I made was this house cannot refuse to entertain anything proposed by the executive. That is my position. But whatever is brought by the executive must be processed on a case-by-case basis. And at that time, I expected...
Actually, it is members who refused. It was not...
Yes, Madam Speaker. So I just want the record to show that the custodian of the rules is you, Madam Speaker. You can interpret it, and you did that, and the records have captured that. But the last bit and the declaration of the results was not from you.
Something very small, Madam Speaker. Something very small. Something very small. Madam Speaker, I want to draw your attention through one. You are a member of parliament from Mukedia. All these ones are member of parliament apart from the ex-officials. And we have been...
Who are they?
Yes, you have ex-officials.
They are members of parliament.
They are members of parliament, but are not representatives of the people in the constituencies. But Madam Speaker, what I wanted to say on record is the President's letter portrays a bad picture on members of parliament, and it seems it has just gone and talked of. And the Vice President is here, who has listened to items where the parliament had put the money. Whether it tantamounts to safety, what the President means, I don't know. Madam Speaker, going forward, one man called King Macbeth said, I don't know the word success, but the word failure is when you want to appease everybody. The appeasement that we are seeking for is going to dupe this parliament and bring it down if we cannot stand. Because, Madam Speaker, the health centers we are talking about are in dilapidated state, and if the President is free to see the dilapidated schools, the dilapidated health centers, where we had put the money, let it be. I am a member of parliament from NRM side. But I think I have moved forward to make sure we move resources to where we are canvassing votes for the NRM. So continue castigating parliament in the name of safety. It is wrong, and you should withdraw this statement. This letter is castigating parliament that we are thieves, yet we have indicated where we have put money in good faith. So, Madam Speaker, I want to applaud you, but I want to request you, in the future, we need to bring the President to appreciate what the members of parliament are doing in good faith. Thank you.
Our understanding was that since...
Honorable members, I hope you all have the budget report. And in that budget report, it is there, you have it. It is in the... I want you to check table A and table B of the budget. Table A has where the money was removed, and table B has where the money went. Where there is a debit, there must be a corresponding credit.
Madam Chair, with that guidance, I have nothing useful to add.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank you very much.
Our understanding was that since...
Honorable members, I hope you all have the budget report. And in that budget report, it is there, you have it. It is in the, I want you to check table A and table B of the budget. Table A has where the money was removed, and table B has where the money went. Where there is a debit, there must be a corresponding credit.
Madam Chair, with that guidance, I have nothing useful to add.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank you very much.
You're going
The Minister has presented a list that was affected with the reallocation. Debating this with the letter of the President, and you need to go back to that letter. The letter is that you are tampering with priorities as Parliament. And he listed, giving examples of roads. Madam Speaker, I want to speak a lot, but it will be fair to give the Budget Committee Chair an opportunity. For example, the way the Minister was reading here, many of my colleagues may not have picked. We have 300 billion that they are reinstating to ROCO, which is a private company. Private company. Remember, this Parliament gave ROCO 270 billion. This is a private company. When you look at the priorities, Madam Speaker, I may not have, because we wrote a minority report, and I hope you will give us time to make some reference to it. But the Budget Committee needs to refresh the mind, and this needs to go on record. Everybody must hear. The priority of the President is that you move money from ambulances. For me, I don't care which constituencies are benefiting. Mine is not, but I don't care. But the President is moving money from ambulances, money from regional referral hospital, to create 300 billion shillings for ROCO, a private company. In his earlier submission on ROCO, he said the justification is that ROCO was helping them when they were fighting in Ruwero. So this is the priority of the President. So I am requesting.
Honorable members.
I am requesting, Madam Speaker, before I make my formal submission as the Shadow Minister,
Honorable members.
as Pfizer's priorities, then we can begin the debate from there.
Sources, as indicated by the Minister, he has given the justification, which personally I have no problem with.
Honorable Bwalu, you're giving the chair 1 hour. When did you become a speaker?
Honorable colleagues, the first item, as I was explaining, that the submissions of the critical unfunded priorities, which of course the committee, which we are all aware is constituted of about 66 members, full members, and all chairs and vice chairpersons of the sector committees, they all form a. We picked a priority, was vote number 1, Office of the President. 5 billion for maintenance of National Leadership Institute, Chankwanzi. Next was operational funds, 3.5 to facilitate project monitoring team of intelligence transport monitoring system under the vote 001. Vote 003, it was Office of Prime Minister. I'm going through all of them so that it gives us Minister of Karamoja Affairs, 80 billion. For iron sheets, maize seed, ox plows, oxygen, oxen. Sorry, I beg you. Oxen. Minister Fluero Triangle, 2 billion. Support families for income generation projects. SDG monitoring, 3 billion for AIDS, SDG. Minister of Defense, Veterinary Affairs, 50 billion, areas to National Housing and Construction Corporation. Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, 450 million for house rent for Principal Judge and Chief Justice. Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, subvention.
It was Deputy Chief Justice, not Chief Justice. Principal Judge and Deputy Chief Justice.
Okay. Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, 3 billion as a subvention for Enterprise Uganda.
Thank you, Chair. There is a confusion. Can I be protected?
Allow Aisha to.
I have been given way. You cut money to reallocate elsewhere, or that's why you put money? That's the clarification we seek.
Honorable colleagues, we return it there. That's what the minister was submitting. I repeat, what the minister was submitting is where in our report and allocation is where money was cut from. What I'm now reading is where we put the money, is where we reinforce. Clarification. I'm now reading. Clarification on those two documents.
You see, colleagues,
Was put in the budget.
yeah, but you
And
see,
now, from budget it came to the House, it was approved, and that's where now it is being removed from. Not so.
yeah, but you see, Madam Chair, what they want to clarify is, before these reallocations are done, they first identify where money is, make a total, whether it is 1 trillion, whether it is 2 trillion, and then begin reallocating. So you may not, it's not automatic that money moved from coffee automatically goes to a road. You first make a total and then you...
Honorable Chair, budget all the same, which is the concern that was raised by a honorable member. When you look at your report, the recurrent budget, that is Annex A, Vote 001, Office of the President, it is allocating 259 billion. However, in the appropriation bill that was returned, it is 225. These two figures are not the same, and the same mistake is consistent with all these votes where some are low, others are high. For example, vote 143, which is Uganda Bureau of Statistics, it got an adjustment of 10 billion, as he rightly stated and as the minister rightly stated. And according to the report, it was to receive 134 billion, according to what we passed. But what is in the appropriation bill is not 134 billion to UBOS. Instead, it is 144 billion. So there is a difference between these two instruments that you need to clarify.
There's an order.
Chair, there is...
The recurrent in the report of the budget committee. That's the clarification that we need.
You know, Honorable,
Appropriation.
this is is the last time you're speaking. How do you grab a microphone? There are so many people who want to speak.
I'm saying,
If you're not understanding the English, Amero, you translate from that side.
that the chair, while in their seat, is supposed to be listened to in silence. Now, having said that, Right Honorable Speaker, no one in this House has the power you're ruling. You have already ruled and given permission to an honorable colleague in a position to submit. Thank you.
Okay, Minister of Agriculture. Minister of Agriculture was under procurement of four-wheel tractors, planters, harrows, harrow trailers. The House must note that the Minister of Agriculture budget had been reduced from mechanization from 145 billion to 80 billion. So we thought we should give additional 50 billion for the procurement of tractors. Minister of Local Government. Minister of Local Government, there was an allocation of 80 billion, for construction of 140 sub-county offices. And the colleagues, the idea was it needed about 16 billion as presented by the committee, but we thought maybe they can do it over 2 financial years. Construct them up to halfway and complete next financial year. Ministry of Education and Sports, grant aiding primary schools 2.5 billion, 38 primary schools as per the annex submitted by Education Committee. We have it in the annex in the report. The list, when you go to the report, it's there in the list. Honorable Chair, in case you have the report. Grant aiding secondary schools, 16.5 billion, 66 secondary schools as per the annex that was attached. All over the country. If you went to the report, there was an annex, there is an annex in the report. I don't have it here. The next one was for secondary school.
Honorable members, the annex was in the report. And remember, this is a report of the committee, of the previous committee.
It was uploaded.
It was uploaded.
It was uploaded on the iPad.
Can you finish?
City schools, 10 billion to construct 13 city schools under UKIP.
You cannot seek clarification on what the House already adopted. Then you're finished.
Yeah, in your iPad. There is subvention, 900 million to cater for salaries and other employee costs for Uganda Allied Health Examinations Board. Uganda Nurses Midwives Examinations Board, 2 billion for monitoring nurses and midwives. Minister of Health. We realized that a number of constituencies didn't have ambulances, others had been given ambulances. So there was a need for 154 ambulances. The committee, due to smaller resources, said let's buy half, seven ambulances, and had allocated 27 billion to procure ambulances through Minister of Health. Again, the ambulances, colleagues, much as they are allocated constituencies, there is a challenge of fuel and maintenance costs. And the minister indicated that they needed money to operate a system, a card system, where each ambulance is allocated funds monthly, direct to operate operate the ambulance. So we had allocated 17 billion for fuel and maintenance of ambulances. Uganda Red Cross was allocated 2 billion. Honorable colleagues, we are informed that there are a number of health centers government started to construct, and they are not yet complete and operationalized. So the committee thought that for this coming financial year, let those health centers be completed and operationalized. And we had allocated 26 billion for that, which is supposed, of course, you know who is supposed to construct them. The construction is done by the brigade, UPDF brigade. Minister of Works and Transport. Minister of Works and Transport force account had been increased, allocated 15 billion additional, only 15 years, for 2 roads. We had also, colleagues, you realize that government now underworks the road safety, licensing, and revenue collection from licensing vehicles is under Ministry of Works, which will collect the revenue transfer from ERA. So we allocated 2 billion for licensing, sensitization, and registration of vehicles. 15 billion to have a one-stop center to offer general services like driving license and registration of vehicles. 2 billion for these people to recruit staff. You see, they took over work from a private company, which they are now doing. So they must have staff to do the work. Colleagues, also 2 billion had been allocated. 2 billion had been allocated for Ministry of Works to give services at the ports of Mombasa and Dar es Salaam, so that they deploy staff there for easy registration of vehicles. And 3 billion for operationalization of inspection services, which were placed under SGS. National Building Review Board, 10 billion. Low-cost seal, 20 billion. Bridges, 3 billion. Community roads improvement, what they call interconnectivity, 33 billion. And then Mount Elgon level-based infrastructure development, 5 billion. Minister of Gender, National Women's Council was added 3 billion. Support to youth, construction equipment for youth, 1.2. Rehabilitation of ministry institutions, child rehabilitation centers, 2 billion. At the Kerry Cultural Gala, which is going to take place in Kidepo 2024 Gala, 400 million. Jama Fest 2024 in South Sudan, 400 million. Funding to support Grow project, 500 million. Withdraw, rehabilitate, and settle street children was added 500 million. Special enterprise grant for older persons, 2 billion. Juakali Enterprises, 5 billion. Kireka Rehabilitation Center, the refurbishment, 460 million. Yeah. Minister of Water, Water and Environment. The support to rural water project source per village. Source per village was added 14.5 billion. Strategic towns water supply and sanitation 3 billion. Investing in forest and protected areas for climate smart development project 1613, additional 2 billion. Service coverage, accelerated project, SCAP umbrella project, 15 billion. Project 1524, water and sanitation development facility is 6 billion. Subvention to National Water and Sewerage Corporation, 1 billion. Minister of Tourism. Minister of Tourism, subvention to Wildlife Authority, 900 million to construct 15 kilometers electric fence. Subvention Uganda Wildlife Authority, 90 billion for compensation for damages due to human-wildlife conflicts and park accidents. Subvention to Uganda Wildlife Research Training Institute to construct a girls' hostel, 4 billion. IGG was added 6.6. 1.7 digitalization, 4.8 for recruitment of staff, and 1 billion for staff training. Parliamentary Commission, the 8.9 are reallocated from capital to recurrent to cater for medical insurance for MPs, 8.97. Uganda National Roads Authority, UNRA, feasibility studies for Chavakuza, 1 billion. Feasibility study Singiro, Ekitia, 1 billion. Kampala City Authority, 10 billion for mechanized drainage and distilling of channels. Ministry of Kampala City Council, City Authority, beg your pardon, and Metropolitan Affairs, 5 billion as counterfunding for restoration affected properties. Equal Opportunities Commission, 1 billion. National Information Technology Authority, 20 billion to offset domestic areas owed to Solito del Marca for management and commercialization of NBI. Uganda National Examinations Board, 6.5 for assessing the new lower secondary school curriculum and the continuous assessment. You are aware that the curriculum was changed, but no additional funding for them to. Sorry, I wanted to. Another money was given to UNEP for conducting transitional examinations. Be aware that there are those who are going to repeat. They have to give another exam, but no funds are allocated. 6.5, securing accommodation for the markers. To conduct field activities of examinations, 8.5. And retrain examiners. Colleagues get to know that UNEP, according to what we got from the sector, after change of the curriculum, the teachers were not retooled properly. And now UNEP had to take up that task. And they are moving around trying to train teachers so that they prepare the students, the candidates, to meet the task of a coming exam. Financial Intelligence Authority was allocated 4 billion. Office of Auditor General to recruit staff 3 billion. Operational fund shortfall, their money was cut by 30 billion, and that would make the work of Auditor General very difficult. And perception survey, Auditor General is supposed to perform a role of independent administrator for EITI and to audit missions abroad 1.7. DPP, recurrent budget to cover wage, to recruit staff, the attorneys to support the justice system. Witness preparation and protection, 3 billion. Procurement of motor vehicles, 2 billion. Uganda Police Force, CID. You recall, colleagues, on this floor, there was a resolution made here to support the CID. And such, there was even a resolution here, they must have their own vote. And I want to confirm to you, I visited the CID recently on witness summons. I would like to confirm, colleagues, there is some high degree of professionalism now in the CID's office. $80 billion to CID. Uganda Prison Service, 4 billion for extension of Kitwe Prison Facility in Gomba. Public Service Commission, 130 million to assist to procure some devices for PWDs. Yes, this just device of PWDs. PPDA, 3 billion to expand scope of the procurement audit from 40% to at least 60%. As of today, the funds available, they manage to do only 40% procurement audit. So if this money is added, they can rise at least to 60%. Uganda National Bureau of Standards, field activities for certification in testing, standard development, verification of equipment, and enforcement of standards, 4 billion. Wage shortfall for Uganda Bureau of Standards, 2 billion. ISO, to facilitate internal intelligence collection, 20 billion. ESO, 7 billion. ESO again to construct ESO headquarters, because it's believed where they are located is not secure enough. So to construct 31 billion. National Council of Sport, 10 billion to support associations, and the 2.5 billion to support the design and redevelopment of Uganda Golf Club at Kitante. Makerere University, Gender Equality Program Project, 1.2 billion. Uganda Tourism Board was given 1.8 billion. National Citizenship and Immigration Control, 10 billion shillings for border posts and technology and so on. National Animal Generic Resource Center, NAGRIC, additional 10 billion. This one I only want to clear, to kickstart a demonstration farm in Bukedia district. That one, yes. I come from there also. That is my district, honorable colleagues. Mbale, vote for 1-0, Mbale Regional Referral Hospital. Mbale Regional Referral Hospital has been struggling to construct a surgical complex for about 5 years. It's not going far, and they need 5 billion to complete it, and that was allocated. Mbale Regional covers a big area up to Mbale South, Kedi up to Uganda Business and Technical Exam, UBTEP, 4 billion. Uganda Microfinance Regulation Authority, 3 billion. Uganda Export Promotions Board in order to participate in Expo 2025 Osaka, 4 billion. Kisoro District was allocated 2 billion for construction of Kanyamateke Bridge. 1.3 billion for Kanyamateke Bridge. And rehabilitation of Buhozi Health Center 350 million. And Nyarusizi Health Center 350 million. Entebbe Regional Referral Hospital. Ever since that hospital was upgraded from a district hospital to a regional referral hospital, the budget stayed constant. So we have allocated additional 3 billion to Entebbe Regional Referral Hospital. Uganda Consulate in Kenya, Mombasa. They are supposed to hosting of Uganda Kenya Coast Tourism Conference Center in Kampala, November 2024. We had allocated 1 billion. Mbarara City, vote 609 in Mbarara City, had been allocated for construction of Katete Bridge in Mbarara City. That's going to connect to Singiro and others, 5.2 billion. St. Helena Primary School refurbishment, 100 million. Kakoba Muslim Primary School, 100 million. Kayaga Primary School, 100. Nyamitanga Secondary School, 100 million. And Nyamitiobora Health Center, 400 million. Shema Municipal Council.
Honorable Sechi.
Colleagues, I'm about to complete. I'm left with very few.
Honorable Sechi. Leave my mpaka.
Chairman Municipal Council. 1.6 billion was added for completion of rehabilitation of Kabuohe Health Center 4. That one was 600 million. And market development infrastructure of 400 million. And SMC headquarters 600 million. Buhweju District. Completion of St. Anthony Kakade Seed School 500 million. Bulambuli District for construction of climbing ladders for school-going children. Colleagues, you have seen on WhatsApp, the children in Bulambuli, a place called Soti, have to access school through ladders to reach the higher level, but we allocated those funds.
Honorable members,
were picked from there.
Honorable members, can we listen? Honorable Semuji, you gave out your power to the chair. I want to ask the chair, honorable members, can we first have...
The truth is that when the president, the cabinet comes up with a budget, we are not supposed to come to cabinet and to parliament and do our own appropriation. And we take things for granted because by the time it comes back to parliament, we come to detect this. But the president has mentioned very well in his letter that 3.7 trillion has been going on. This has been a habit. There is no way, even if you're an owner of a house and you realize that you put something at this position and you want it to be in that position, because the president knows that in each of these regions there are a number of health centers, there are a number of roads that have to be constructed, there are a number of facilities. And then someone comes and sits down and says it has to go to Nakapipit because I'm a member of the committee. What happens to the rest of members of parliament? Seungu and Semuji are here making noise, but they have forgotten that the people who are moving this money are trying to put the things for them to come back to parliament, which is wrong. I don't want to have everything because I'm in the committee to go to Nakapiripiri. Let it be done in the central place because it's evenly distributed at the committee level. So then the issue of the committee members, let me tell you, not every committee members of budget should be stereotyped, okay? There are those individuals who are used to do this, and if they are there, they should be brought out very clearly that this person and this person, some of them already are in the courts of law. We know what they did. They were brokering, they were becoming kayungirizi between the budget leadership and also, the budget committee and the MDS. This is criminal. We shall not accept this, and this is where the problem comes from. So putting money, even me in my own household, if I put something in a place and I know I want to come back and find it the way it is not good for someone else to come and remove it and take to his house without even me as the government knowing where it's going. We are not crucifying the members of the committee. Not all of them did this. There are those individuals. Let us ring fence and say these are the individuals who did this. But we are saying we want even distribution of resources to be taken to every part of this country. This is what NRM does in its movement.
Yeah, one, we need to note that the reconsideration of this budget was to reconsider the 750 billion that Parliament had allocated or reallocated, and also the 750 billion that the Cabinet had allocated. What has been adopted is the 750 billion that Cabinet had allocated, and in effect rejected the 750 billion which Parliament had allocated. This was money going to health centers, it was money for water, money for tractors, money for ambulances, money for upgrade of schools, money for rehabilitation schools. So what it means is this new financial year, no new ambulances will come to the constituencies. There will be no fuel to maintain the ambulances. There will be no schools that will be rehabilitated. There will be no new water points that will be added, over and above the average that has been there before. But what this means in effect is that we, the members of Parliament, are going to be the ones to foot the bills to cover those gaps in service delivery, because we failed to provide the 750 billion that would have addressed the core issues of service delivery. We're not disputing that some of the issues that were raised in the 750 billion cabinet document are national priorities, but 300 billion going to ROCO, surely we should have put that to go to the constituencies for the ambulances, for collecting more blood, for getting access to safe drinking water. So at the end of the day, I can say service delivery has lost the war. Yeah.
The president is entitled to reject with reasons any piece of legislation that Parliament has processed. But when Parliament sits to reconsider the request by the president, it must be done on its own merit. So the first point of weakness is that a Parliament that sat and made an appropriation to come back and then within minutes reverse that without any real justification is completely unacceptable. Well, the president may have had issues, but Parliament had sat and found that most of the 750 billion shillings was going to what we call wasteful expenditures. For example, 300 billion was hidden under treasury operations with a narrative of others. There were no particular details. When we pressed today, it was discovered that the 300 billion is a bailout to ROCO, which is a private company. Remember, ROCO had been bailed about a year ago or two with about 270 billion shillings. So Parliament sat and thought that, okay, now that 300 billion is available, where else can the executive tell us to put this money? Now, the president's letter had cited roads. He gave example of how many roads he could construct with that amount of money. My expectation was that the executive would have proposed that don't spend this 750 billion on the areas you have mentioned, but take it to these roads which are our priority. Within that reallocation, Ugandans must know that there were provision for ambulances, for example. This is a promise that the government brought to us, that every constituency in this country should have an ambulance. The first lot of ambulances were procured, given. There are constituencies that are waiting for these ambulances. So Parliament had provided for that. So for me, I could say that, well, the tyranny of numbers happened, but also I think the time frame provided to us was not enough. What we did was a shortcut. For example, we did not have adequate time in the Committee of the Whole House. The Committee of the Whole House should have interrogated documents, should have verified the interest rates that we are paying, should have inquired from government how they are going to pay the debt before allocating money. So I think we have kind of disappointed Ugandans on this particular one. I agree with the claim, because I have made these allegations as well. For about 4 or 5 years, the Budget Committee of Parliament, the members have been rewarding themselves with all the projects. They look through schools, health centers, and they only parcel them to their constituencies, which is wrong. And I think that's the window the president used to threaten them. And whatever you have seen happening today, people are trying to get the goodwill of the president and say, don't arrest us now that we have given you, which is wrong. Each and every person who stole from Parliament must account, must go to CID, must go to courts of law and defend themselves on those allegations. You cannot come and use now Parliament and say, let's now be soft, let's kneel before the president, let's do whatever he wants so that maybe he does an order for our arrest. If the president decides to pursue that line, that because Parliament has helped me, I will now lower my guard in fighting corruption, then he doesn't even deserve to continue leading the country.
You see, Museveni returned this bill accusing Parliament of corruption. He said their Parliament is destroying and distorting his development agenda. The trouble is that many MPs don't read. Those who were cheering Museveni were doing so because they didn't have enough information. That's why I made only one submission. 770 billion reallocated. Near half of that money, 300 billion, is going to Roku, a private company that has been mismanaged by its proprietor, but they are Museveni's friends. They didn't allow me to proceed to the next point, because the next point, money was being moved from what Museveni calls debt servicing, and debt servicing there meant Ruboa of Pinet. So these MPs who are cheering Museveni, oh, today he has them. See, they are moving money from buying ambulances, constructing schools, health facilities, to give to Ruboa, money from workshops. So really, it's entirely up to the public and those MPs who have been cheering Museveni. He has said MPs are thieves. Now the country must judge between Museveni and MPs.